It's the bye week, and you know what that means. It's time for some self-scouting. So today, we flip the script and do something a little different. What if the Buffalo Bills had to prepare to face themselves? How would you attack this team? Where are the vulnerabilities? What would it take to knock off a squad led by Josh Allen, one of the most physically gifted quarterbacks in football? Let's dive into that hypothetical right now. The Bills walk into this imaginary matchup with a record of 4 victories and 2 defeats, sitting in second place in the AFC East and currently holding the number 5 seed in the conference. They've beaten some strong teams, the Ravens, the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Saints, but also dropped back-to-back games to the Patriots and the Falcons. That inconsistency defines the 2025 version of the Bills, and it's something their opponents have to be aware of. They can beat anyone, but they can also be beaten if you expose the cracks. Now, let's start with the leadership. Sean McDermott is in his 9th season as the head coach in Buffalo. With 90 wins to 47 losses, 5 straight AFC East titles, and 5 consecutive 11-plus win seasons, McDermott has built one of the most consistent regular season programs of football. He's taken this team to the playoffs in 7 of his 8 full seasons, with a postseason record of 7 wins and 7 losses. That's better than most, but the one thing missing is a Super Bowl appearance. And when you have a quarterback like Josh Allen, especially now as the reigning NFL MVP, anything short of a title is viewed as underachieving. Speaking of Allen, he's still the engine that drives everything in Buffalo. At 29 years old, standing 6'5" and weighing 240 pounds, he brings a rare combination of size, athleticism, and arm talent. Taken 7th overall in the 2018 draft, Allen has started 116 games for the Bills and has led them to 80 wins in those contests. So far this season, he's completing just over 68% of his passes for an average of 233 yards per game, with 11 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. His passer rating sits at a strong 103.1. But when you zoom in on the advanced metrics, things start to get interesting. Allen's expected points added per dropback sits at plus 0.18, good for 9th in the league. He's throwing deep more than ever. 12.4% of his passes go beyond 20 yards, but the results haven't been great lately. Over the last 3 games, he's thrown deep 16.5% of the time, but has only completed 4 of 13 passes on those attempts, with 2 of them ending up as interceptions. That translates to a dismal passer rating of just 22.8 on deep throws. Only 38% of those passes have even been deemed catchable. So while the aggressiveness is there, the efficiency is not. Another telling stat, nearly half, 49%, of Allen's passing yards have come after the catch, a number that places him right in the middle of the league. That's a drop of nearly 10% from last season. He's throwing his first read on just 63% of his attempts, which ranks 27th in the league, and he's taking his time to make decisions, averaging 2.75 seconds to get the ball out. That's also 27th in the NFL. His catchable ball rate is solid at 76%, but his turnover-worthy throw rate is up to 3.4%, 25th in the league. He's facing pressure on 40% of his dropbacks, which is 12th highest, and he's using play action just over 27% of the time. What does all this mean? Well, Allen remains a dynamic weapon, especially with his legs, but he's also taking more risks and seeing a dip in deep ball accuracy. You can still count on him to extend plays, throw off platform, and bulldoze defenders as a runner. But if you're trying to stop him, there are cracks in the armor, especially when it comes to his decision-making under pressure and his recent struggles to connect on explosive plays. Now, let's shift the focus to the man calling the plays, offensive coordinator Joe Brady. After taking over from Ken Dorsey midway through the 2023 season, Brady has now had a full offseason and a second year to build his vision for the offense. The results so far? Strong but different. The Bills are scoring 27.8 points per game, 4th in the league. But they've made a significant identity shift. They now run the ball 49% of the time, which is the 3rd highest rate in the NFL. That's a big change for a team that was known for spreading the field and letting Allen throw it around. This is now a run-heavy attack with a power element, and it's showing in the advanced numbers. They rank 6th in expected points added per play, 10th in EPA per pass, and an impressive 3rd in EPA per rush. So even though the passing game isn't as explosive, the ground game has picked up the slack. James Cook is the centerpiece of that run game. Through 6 games, he's already racked up 107 carries, and he's making the most of them with his slashing style, vision, and ability to explode through cutback lanes. The Bills love to run zone, and Cook thrives in those concepts. Behind him, Josh Allen is the second leading rusher with 46 carries, and then you have Ray Davis and Ty Johnson filling in as change-of-pace options. But this backfield belongs to James Cook. He's been a focal point all season long. As for the weapons in the passing game, this year's Bills are all about spreading the ball around. There's no true alpha receiver, no Stephon Diggs type, but rather a group of solid contributors who each play a role. Keon Coleman, the rookie from Florida State, leads the team in targets. He's a big-bodied, physical receiver who wins on in-breaking routes and 50-50 balls, but he's not the most efficient target yet. Khalil Shakir handles the slot duties, brings strong yards after catchability, and has developed good chemistry with Allen. Joshua Palmer is a reliable route runner on the outside, and even though it's his first year in Buffalo, he's carving out a role. Behind that trio, you've got Tyrell Shavers, Elijah Moore, and Curtis Samuel. Those Samuel and Moore have both been in and out of the lineup. Dalton Kincaid, the third-year tight end, has emerged as one of the top pass-catching threats on the roster. After a promising rookie year and a frustrating sophomore campaign marred by injury, he's now healthy and playing some of his best football. Dawson Knox is still in the mix as a traditional inline tight end, and his presence allows Kincaid to operate in space, where he's most effective. Rookie Jackson Haw has also contributed as a blocker and has caught a few passes, giving the Bills a surprisingly deep tight end group. This offensive line is quietly one of the strengths of the team. Deion Dawkins and Spencer Brown are playing as one of the better tackle duos in the league. Center Connor McGovern has made a smooth transition from guard and holds things together in the middle. David Edwards at left guard is solid, while Osiris Torrance at right guard remains a bit of a wild card. He's powerful in the run game, but inconsistent in pass protection. If you're going to target one weak link on this line, Torrance is probably the spot to attack. So if you're trying to beat the Bills' offense, here's where you start. First, you have to stop the run. That might sound counterintuitive when you're facing Josh Allen, but this version of the Bills is built to run first, pass second. They live off cutback runs and zone concepts, and James Cook has a knack for making backside defenders pay. That means your corners and weak side defenders have to be active in the run game. They can't just stand out there waiting for passes. They need to squeeze down, maintain leverage, and be ready to clean up cutbacks. Next, it's about confusing the protection. Simulated pressures are a great way to do that. Show 6 or 7 guys at the line of scrimmage, then drop 2 into coverage and bring 4 from unexpected angles. That messes with communication and forces guys like Torrance to make real-time decisions under pressure, something he struggled with. You also want a designated player to mirror Allen, someone who isn't just spying, but actively moving with the play, ready to jump a scramble or cut off an in-breaking route over the middle. This not only helps contain Allen as a runner, but it also clogs up one of his favorite throwing lanes. And finally, send pressure away from the formational strength. The Bills love to overload one side with 3 or 4 players, but if you send heat from the opposite side, corner blitzes, slot blitzes, or even disguised overloads, you can create confusion and force Allen into uncomfortable decisions. There's no denying the talent on this offense. Josh Allen is still a freakish athlete who can win games by himself, and the Bills have enough playmakers to stress any defense. But they're not invincible. Their passing game hasn't been clicking down the field. Their offensive line has a few cracks, and their reliance on the run game, while effective, can make them one-dimensional if you bottle up James Cook. Now let's flip the script to the other side of the ball, because as dangerous as the Bills' offense can be, it's the defense that might ultimately determine how far this team goes in the postseason. And if you were game planning to beat this Buffalo defense right now, there are some real opportunities to exploit. The man calling the shots on that side of the ball is Bobby Babich, a longtime Sean McDermott disciple who's now in his second year as defensive coordinator and play caller. At 42 years old, Babich has spent nearly a decade working in McDermott's system, coaching linebackers, safeties, and now running the entire unit. And while the Bills' defense has maintained some of its traditional looks, there's been a noticeable shift in structure and results. Through 6 games this season, they're allowing 22.8 points per game, ranking right in the middle of the league at 16th. But the efficiency metrics paint a more revealing picture. They're 10th in expected points allowed per pass, but a concerning 25th against the run. That's a massive drop-off for a team that in recent years has prided itself on discipline and gap integrity. What's even more telling is their usage. The Bills used to be near the bottom of the league in base defense, almost always opting for nickel with 2 linebackers and 5 defensive backs. This year, they've played base 24% of the time, a massive increase that places them in the middle of the league. They're still in nickel 64% of the time, but they've also introduced more dime packages than ever, 12%, which ranks 10th in the NFL. That suggests they're trying to be more flexible with their sub-packages, but also points to uncertainty and inconsistency in personnel. They're mixing man and zone almost evenly, ranking 18th and 15th respectively in usage. Blitzing comes into play on 25% of snaps, again sitting right in the middle of the pack. Cover 2 and Cover 3 are the foundational shells, accounting for about 60% of their coverages. On paper, this is a defense built to be balanced and multiple. But on the field, it hasn't always looked that way. Let's talk about the front 4. The Bills have 2 standout defensive ends in Greg Rousseau and Joey Bosa. Bosa, the marquee free agent addition, is finally healthy and producing, and Rousseau remains one of the league's best run defenders on the edge. He may not pile up sacks, but he consistently sets the edge and creates pressure with his length and power. Behind them, A.J. Epineza and Michael Hoy round out the rotation. Epineza is a steady veteran presence, and Hoy, coming off suspension, adds an athletic spark. Before we dive back in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest Buffalo Bills updates straight to your screen. And hey, don't hold back. Let us know your thoughts on today's news down in the comments. DeVonta Smith, the electrifying wide receiver who has captivated fans with his precision routes and game-changing plays, has reportedly declined a contract extension with his current team, sending shockwaves across the league. Sources close to the situation suggest that Smith has made a bold decision to join the Buffalo Bills, igniting a frenzy among fans and analysts alike. While the details of the deal remain under wraps, whispers around the league indicate that Smith's move could reshape the offensive landscape of Buffalo, adding a dynamic weapon to complement their already formidable roster. The decision, if confirmed, marks a pivotal moment in Smith's career. Known for his clutch performances and consistency, he has long been regarded as one of the premier talents in the league. Rumors circulating suggest that Smith's choice was driven not just by financial considerations, but by the opportunity to play in a system where his skills could shine even brighter. Insiders hint at a mutual excitement between Smith and the Bills' coaching staff, with the team reportedly planning to build plays specifically around his abilities. Reaction among fans has been immediate and intense. Social media platforms are ablaze with speculation, with some lauding Smith's ambition and others lamenting the loss for his former team. Analysts are already debating the implications. How will Smith's presence alter the Bills' offensive strategy? Could this move be the catalyst that finally pushes Buffalo to the very top of the league standings? While the official announcement has yet to be made, the buzz surrounding this potential signing has reached fever pitch, with commentators describing it as one of the most intriguing moves of the offseason. As the story unfolds, one thing is certain. Wherever DeVonta Smith lands, he is guaranteed to be at the center of headlines, debates, and fantasy football conversations. The league waits with bated breath, eager to see if this rumored transfer will live up to the hype and usher in a new era of explosive football for the Bills. That's a wrap for now. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay on top of all things Buffalo Bills, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what you think in the comments. See you in the next update.